The Oklahoma City Thunder have the perfect chance to bring back Chris Paul to the team, as he would fill a giant hole that they need, as the De'Aaron Fox trade rumors and news going out how the Kings are willing to shop him opens up this path for him to come back. And if Chris Paul's here, he'd have the perfect opportunity to train and develop young guys like Nikola Topic and even Jalen Williams into some star-studded players. We saw it with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We saw it with Dort during his time here. Without Chris Paul, Shai might not be the player he is right now. That's end of the story right there. Without Chris Paul, Shai might not develop into an MVP level of a player. That's how good of a leader and point guard he is. He's one of the main reasons Victor Wembanyama is having an incredible season this year and will be an all-star. With him feeding the ball, Victor Wembanyama is going to be an all-star, and it's all because of Chris Paul. He makes everyone around him better. And this is the perfect chance for Oklahoma City to go after him, whether that's in a 3-team trade between San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and Sacramento, or wait for him to be bought out by Sacramento when the San Antonio trades him to the Kings. All right, wait for him to be bought out and then immediately go after him and be like, look, sign you for so-and-so amount of money without a backup point guard right now. We can get you like 15 to 18 minutes a game as a backup point guard, filling this role that AJ Mitchell no longer has because he's injured and probably won't even play in the playoffs, all right? And be like, look, you can finally get your ring as well. We give you the best odds of getting a ring while playing and providing a pivotal, important part of this team right here. So we're going to break down everything going on regarding the De'Aaron Fox trade rumors right now going around that he's going to be shipped off to San Antonio, how this opens up a pathway for Chris Paul to get to OKC, give you my trade that I have, and show you I'm not the only one kind of thinking about this whatsoever, all right? Before we get into all that, though, as always, around 68% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, yet you're coming back on a regular basis and watching his videos. If you enjoyed the content we're putting out and you want to support the channel, best way to do so is by hitting that subscribe button. It goes a long way. It means the world to me, all right? Trying to reach 3,000 as fast as possible. Might do a giveaway every time we reach, another 1,000 subs here. Keep that in mind. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into today's video talking about the trade rumors going on right now. And it was first reported by Shams, all right, that De'Aaron Fox is going to be traded, all right? The Sacramento Kings are expected to open up talks to potentially deal All-Star De'Aaron Fox ahead of February 6th trade deadline. Sources tell ESPN there will be plenty of suitors, but it's believed that Fox has a target destination in mind ahead of 2026 free agency. So it's already been talked about how he wants to go to San Antonio. It's been mentioned multiple times, okay? It truly has. That's where he wants to go. And it was also mentioned that if this is the case, it opens up a pathway for a third team to get involved to help out Sacramento, deal De'Aaron Fox, and also get assets in return that they want. And it also opens up a way where, look, if it's just a 2-team deal between San Antonio and Sacramento, Chris Paul's probably getting dealt in that trade. They don't really have a place for him anymore if De'Aaron Fox there, as that's the young guy that they want to keep. He might be unhappy there, like, look, I was fine coming here, developing young guys, all right, getting my time. But if you're not going to play me at all now, all right, and you want me to be gone, just let me buy me out or throw me in a trade as well. Get me somewhere where I'm going to be valuable, have a role to develop young guys, and also have a chance of getting a ring. He's about done with his career. I think he has a player option after the season, and he's not making that much. He's making $10 million a year, okay? End of story. And I'm not the only one that thinks this is a good idea. Look at Cone. Like, biggest name out there for the Thunder community. If you don't know him, I'm sorry, you're probably living under a rock. But even 3 Cone agrees that Chris Paul would low-key be a great addition to this squad right here. As also reported by this guy down here. If the Kings and Spurs are actually going to do this thing, there are a couple of teams that should try to get Chris Paul on the low right now. And I truly do think that. Thunder chats as well. Dylan, he said, high key for this trade as well. I think it's perfect. I truly think this is the perfect reunion for OKC. Everyone's mentioned Jeremy Grant. He costs a lot of money. I've looked at the numbers and everything. $10 million contract. That is so easy to match with some of the players that we have, where realistically, might even just take a Kenrich Williams or Ousmane Dieng. Just one of those two guys is like, look, we have cap space we can take on due to the second apron. I know that gets us in tax trouble and everything, where it makes it a little bit harder financially, but there's a world where it's just like, look, we can just give up this one player and one pick, get Chris Paul, help get De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio right there, help you guys out. Everyone wins in this scenario. Very easy trade to happen right there. And this is what I originally had, okay? Oops, let me get it a little bigger for you guys right here. All right, Thunder get Chris Paul. That's it. As you can see, it helps out offensively and defensively a little bit. And we're losing money taking him in with this trade that I had proposed, okay? The San Antonio Spurs, they gain a little bit of money, not all that much though, under $1 million. They get De'Aaron Fox and Ousmane Dieng because they're giving up Devin Vassell and, to the Kings because they want young and kind of win now pieces. I consider Vassell and Kenrich Williams win now pieces for a lot of teams that can also help develop. It's not like the Kings are a contender this year. That's well known. They're not a contender. They're trying to regroup for next season. And same with the Spurs. They know they're not contending next year. They want to mesh together whatever guys they're going to get this year at the trade deadline with Victor Wembanyama. So next season, they can really make a statement in the Western Conference with him, and especially De'Aaron Fox. That's a deadly duo to think of. They just got to start building guys around them now. Ousmane Dieng is a young prospect who has potential. We have seen flashes of it. I just don't think it's ever going to be realized in Oklahoma City. And it's honestly best for his career to move on from OKC. He's just not getting the time unless guys are severely injured to actually develop. And when the team is healthy, he doesn't play. It's the same with Kenrich Williams. When the team is healthy, he's not going to play, especially come playoffs. It works out for everyone. OKC does give up a pick, 2028 unprotected first round pick. Should be contenders from way on past that point. So I'm not worried about that pick being protected whatsoever. Okay, I'm not worried about that whatsoever. But I think this is a win-win for every team. All right, OKC gets their backup point guard for this season for the championship run. San Antonio gets De'Aaron Fox and another young guy that's like, look, could potentially be something. Like if Ousmane Dieng turns out to be this player that everyone thinks he is, that'd be nice to pair him alongside Victor Wembanyama. I just don't think it's ever going to happen in OKC. Very similar to the Trey Mann situation. Then Devin Vassell, Kenrich Williams, and then 3 first-round picks that the Sacramento Kings are getting in return because they want picks. They said that. They want win-now pieces, but mainly are going after as many picks as they can get. Getting 3 first-round picks makes up for a lot of this right here. And yes, they take on $1 million, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not all that much. I think this is perfect for them right here, all 3 teams. There's also a chance he could be a buyout target, which is very likely. If that's the case, Thunder just sign him real quick. Just sign him up, all right? You have cap space to use. Just be like, look, you want a ring? Come over here. We also have use for you developing some young guys. And we already know you play well with Shai and Dort. We know that already, all right? Having him as a backup point guard, one of the best point guards of all time. Yes, he's way out of his prime. He's almost 40 years old. But having him as the backup point guard for a championship run, I'm glad to have that, all right? I would gladly use him in that role. And the stats, all right, they're not bad stats whatsoever. He's playing 29 minutes a game right now on average, putting up almost 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, which is very surprising to me, and then 8 assists a game on 29 minutes. I'll take that along with less than 2 turnovers a game with the amount of time he's getting. Very impressive. The only thing that concerns me, of course, is his height. That's the only thing that concerns me. But should that really be a concern for our backup point guard when we're constantly going to have size and some of the league's best defenders out on the court? I'm not worried about that whatsoever. He's averaging a steal a game. That's solid to see right there. He's not the best defender, but he's not the worst. It's just his size. Of course, it's going to create mismatches. But with Chet coming back as well, I'm not worried whatsoever about his size. Not one bit. He is almost 40. He has a ton of playoff experience, though. Could finally get him that ring. Having him and Caruso as the veteran leaders off the bench and playing sometimes with the starters when, like just the 2-3 minutes that they're playing together with them. This goes a long way, and I think it really helps out OKC. And I think this is the one piece, like everyone mentions Cam Johnson. Now, I've mentioned it before, all right? I do think Cam Johnson puts OKC in the super team tier where it's like, how is anyone going to beat them? Same goes with other guys out in the league that are available for trades that we've looked at. It just one of those things, though, with Chris Paul, he feels that need that OKC needs this season and be like, look, get bought out, all right? You could accept your player option, letting you know we'd probably end up trading you to a team where you can ride off into the sunset. If he wins his ring this year, he might just go ahead and retire then. It's just there's so many positives with Chris Paul coming over. Developing a guy like Nikola Topic, developing a guy like AJ Mitchell, okay? Jalen Williams, all these guys, if you somehow keep Ousmane Dieng, help develop him as well. Dylan Jones, if he stays to the team, help him develop. Adam Flagler, all these guys, he's going to help out tremendously as a veteran leader, feeding them the ball and like being like, look, with my mind, this is what you have to do. What I've seen in my long career in the NBA, go to this spot, do this, do that. You're going to be very successful. This is what you need to work on. All right. It just, the positives outweigh all the negatives, and the only negative is his size and what the Kings are going to try to get in return because I just think the only way it happens is a 3-team deal, all right? Or he gets dealt to Sacramento and then they buy him out. Like, look, go somewhere else now. You're not our problem. And he ends up in Oklahoma City. But I could see this very well happening if that's the case. There's De'Aaron Fox now being up for trade talks. And I think a trade is going to happen for him. I think the Kings need to capitalize on it now while he has a ton of value. I think it's very likely we could see something like this happen. I just think OKC needs a true backup point guard off the bench. I think they need that. And Chris Paul fills that role perfectly. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about Chris Paul making a return to Oklahoma City, because I truly think that is perfect for him and the Thunder. I think it's the perfect reunion. But if you don't agree, let me know why. All right, that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one.